And now a little story from the Appleseed.
I used to tell stories from all over the world, and I realized that I wanted to concentrate more on European stories because that's my culture, and I felt it more appropriate to do so. But I still tell stories from all over the world. This story is a story from Scandinavia, and it ends like a French story. And French stories, they just kind of stop, and you're left like, what? What happened? And in this particular instance, it isn't like, well, that was daft. In this instance, I kind of really liked it. You'll like this, I think, sir. And when I read it, I was like, I got to tell this story. It's such a good story. And it's all about this young man who felt that he didn't have much luck. In fact, he saw all of his friends and his family having so much luck. And yet, this man, young man, he had his own home, he had land, and he had livestock. I mean, if that's not lucky, I don't know what is. But he felt that he never had luck. He saw his family having luck, he saw his friends having luck, but he never saw it in himself. And so he went to see the wise woman of the village, because women are wiser than men. And he went to see her and spoke to her, and she said, I can't tell you whether you've had much luck or not, or whether you've had more luck than anybody else or no luck at all. You have to go and find God at the edge of the world. God at the edge of the world. God at the edge of the world. Okay, I'll go and find God at the edge of the world. And off he left. And he traveled for a year and a day. And at the end of the year and a day, he came to this part in the forest where the path split, and there were two branches, and the one path led over to the left, and there was this large pack of wolves. And when he looked at these wolves, he saw that when they stood up and they flexed their muscles looking at him, and the muscles rippled underneath their healthy fur, and he saw them baring their very sharp teeth, he thought, let's have a look at this path. And he looked at this path, and there was only one wolf on this particular path, and this one wolf was very, very skinny. Its ribs were poking through its skin, its fur was falling out, and when it rolled onto its back and yawned, he noticed that one of the teeth wobbled, and he thought, I'll go down that path. But as he went past this wolf, giving it the respect and the distance that it needed, the wolf looked up at him and said, excuse me, where are you going? He couldn't believe, the talking wolf. Yes, and you're a talking person. But you're I'm just wondering where you're going. Well, I'm going to go and find God at the edge of the world, because I had never felt that I've had much luck. And the wise woman in the village that I come from, she said that I should go and find God at the edge of the world, and they'd let me know. Well, if you're going to go and see God at the edge of the world, can you find out why I'm all thin and bony and my fur is falling out and my teeth are getting loose? I suppose so, yes. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. And off the young man went, thinking it was a bit bizarre, talking wolf and all that. Well, he travelled further and further and further. He travelled for, how long do you think it was? A year and a day. He travelled for a year and a day. And he came to this little cottage. And it was getting towards dusk, and he's like, I need somewhere to spend the night. So, and the door opened, there was this gorgeous young woman there. And she's like, hello. And he was like an 8-year-old boy. He's like, hello. And she's like, can I help you with anything? He said, well, yeah, I need somewhere to spend the night. I was wondering if there's an inn or something nearby. Oh, no, the nearest inn is about 3 miles away. And at this time of night and these roads, it's too dangerous. I have a bench in my kitchen if you want to sleep on there tonight. Oh, that would be marvelous. Are you sure that's all right? Of course it is, she said. Come on in. And so she invited him in, and he went in, and they cooked supper that night, and they prepared the meal, and they ate the meal together, and they looked into each other's eyes, and they're like, oh, and whoa. And there was a lot of that toing and froing. And then she made a bed for him on the bench, and she went upstairs and spent the night upstairs. And the next morning when they came down and had breakfast together, she asked him where he was going. Oh, I'm going to go and find God at the edge of the world. Oh, why are you going to go and find God at the edge of the world? And he told her. And she said, could you ask God at the edge of the world a question for me too? I said, well, of course I can. Well, what do you want me to ask? Could you ask why I'm so lonely? Well, I certainly will. Bye, toodaloo, ta-da. And that went on for quite a while. And he traveled for a year and a day. And he came to this forest. And as he was making his way through the forest, he noticed how tall and strong these trees were. They towered above him. And then he looked down and saw this one tree, and amongst all these others that was gnarly and twisted and bent up. And as he walked past this tree, one of the branches came out and smacked him on the leg. Ow, what the whack? And the tree said, excuse me, where are you going? He says, what, talking wolf and now a talking tree? What is this? He's like, hello, I'm going to go and find God at the edge of the world. And why are you going to see God at the edge of the world? And he told the tree why he was going to go and see God at the edge of the world. And she said, well, if you're going to find God at the edge of the world, could you ask a question for me? Well, I suppose so. What do you need? Well, you see all these marvelous trees that surround me? They are my younger siblings, my younger cousins and nephews and nieces. And yet I am so twisted and small and compared to my family. Can you find out why? Well, of course I can. Thanks awfully. Goodbye. Goodbye. And off he went. And after he found God at the edge of the world. And he was very excited about this, as you can imagine. He'd been traveling for a long time. And he went up to God at the edge of the world and said, I'm so excited to find you. I have this problem. The wise woman of the village, she sent me to seek you out to find out if I've had lots of luck or no luck at all or just the same luck as everybody else. And God at the edge of the world said, you've had the same luck as everybody else. No more and no less. And he said, you just haven't seen your luck. When you go back home, I will make sure you see your luck more clearly. He's like, thank you. He's, I've got 3 questions for you as well. I know. How do you know? I'm God at the edge of the world. And so he told her the questions and he said the answers. And he said, thank you. Then he turned and left. And he traveled back. And after a year and a day, he came to the woods. He came to that tree and he went up to the tree. Said, I know what's wrong with you. And the tree said, that's marvelous. So did you find God at the edge? I certainly did. And what was God at the edge? It was amazing. And then he told him the experience of the tree, the experience of the God at the edge of the world. And then he said, you know why you're stunted and so twisted and gnarled? And he said, no, hopefully you've got an answer for me. I do. You see, when you were a small sapling, someone came in here with this huge treasure chest filled with booty and they buried it beneath your roots and your roots got stuck in the chest, which is why you're so stunted. Now, if someone were to dig out that chest filled with treasure, then you grow tall and strong just like your siblings, just like your cousins and nephews and nieces. Could you dig out the treasure chest? Well, I don't have a shovel. No, I got to go and find my luck. There's a shovel over there, as it happens, next to that stone wall. Oh, no, I got to go and find my luck. There's a treasure chest filled with treasure stuck beneath my roots. I know, but and when somebody digs out that treasure chest, you'll grow up to be big and tall. But I have to go and find my luck. Good luck with that, said the tree. And the young man made his way on. And after a year and a day, he came to the house again. And he knocked on the door and the young woman answered. And she said, you're back. Do you need somewhere would you like to stay? And he said, if that's okay, yes, please. And so she invited him in. They cooked supper, they ate supper, and there was a lot of oohing and ahhing. And then she made the bed up on the bench for him and she went upstairs. And the next morning, he told her about God at the edge of the world. And she said, did you find out my issue and what I can do? And he said, yes. All you need to do is to find someone that you really like, who really likes you, and ask them to spend the rest of their life with you. And she looked at him and she said, I really like you. And he said, I really like you. Would you spend the rest of your life with me? I've got to go and find my luck first. Okay, she said. I'll come back though afterwards. Okay, I suppose so, she said. Goodbye, she said, and bye-bye, he said. And that was it. And he traveled for a year and a day. And he came to the wolf. And the wolf was still there, still skinny, still with hair falling out, ribs poking through. And the wolf looked at him and said, you made it. You saw God at the edge of the world. He said, I did. I saw God at the edge of the world and it was amazing. Well, tell me all about it. Tell me about it. And so the young man told the wolf about his adventures and the cottage and the woman and then the tree and the treasure. And then, whoa, that's it. And you didn't dig the treasure up? No, I was too busy. I got to find my luck. Okay. And you didn't stay with the young woman either? No, I was too busy looking for my luck. All right then. So what did God at the edge of the world say about me? Well, God at the edge of the world said you're to eat the first foolish person to come along. And so the wolf ate the young man and grew strong and healthy, and because of that, lived happily ever after.
Thanks for joining us. for a little story from the apple seed.